Hey guys, it's Lizzie. So sorry, the last stream had to go down. The Wi-Fi connection was messing up, so I had to figure out my whole network, start over the modem. But I'm so excited for this video. I'm going to share the craziest fan encounters that I've had. I've been doing my YouTube channel for 10 years. I've had so many different demographics through the years as well. So I'm gonna tell some scary stories where I could have gotten into danger and stalker-esque things. I shouldn't say stalker because I have actual stalkers. So not with one of those people. But other times I met fans. We later became best friends. Other times I've met people we've started dating. A lot of times, I would say my favorite fan encounters were when I was at Pepperdine, which was my undergrad for college. I made all these YouTube videos, dorm tours of the school, college tour of the whole campus. And so when I was a sophomore, I was one of the new student orientation leaders, they called us. So we were kind of like hyping up and yelling at the new freshmen and like, welcome to Pepperdine, AOAs, and welcoming them into the dorms and like carrying their stuff into the dorms and everything. So I was one of those people. I want to meet you, chosen prophet. Hi, Light of Christ. Hi, Karina. Hi, Oliver B. So anyways, I was one of these new student orientation leaders, and all these people, these new freshmen, recognized me. And even like months into the school year, the guys would just start like, Lizzie, 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 like chanting my name when I would pass by the freshman guys. And I remember them being like, this is like meeting Miley Cyrus. Like, literally girls were saying that because people knew me from the videos. And then I had one experience where a parent started crying, which actually happens. People start crying when they meet me quite a bit. But this parent started crying. I think this was the first time I had a crying interaction. And she's like, oh my gosh, you made me feel so safe that my daughter's coming to the school. I was so scared. No, it was her son. It was her son. She was like, I was so sad. My son was going to college. I was so scared. I didn't know if he would be okay. But then we saw your videos and we knew it was fine. So literally this mom is like sobbing and then wants to take like a picture with me. And then her son looks like flabbergasted and horrified from the side because he didn't know what was happening. So that was one of my like early experiences that was kind of awkward. Some other more recent fan experiences. So I would say when I went to Pepperdine, that was kind of like a single day when it was so many people all at once. Another time when it was a single day and very overwhelming was at the Theology of the Body conference. I went to this a few months after my whole like when I came out about being Catholic and had some press and stuff. And so everyone at this conference knew who I was and was like staring at me. And I can tell when people stare at me if they recognize me. And then like that you would talk to them. And then later they'd be like, oh yeah, I know you from your YouTube. Like I know all these things about you. But like we would start talking and they wouldn't say that they knew me first off, which is kind of weird. So that made me kind of uncomfortable because it was like so many people in a single day and I wasn't expecting it. And it was the same thing in my college. And then I think my favorite ever time, and then I'll tell you the sketchy guy story. My favorite ever time meeting, oh my gosh, guys, I should pay attention to the chat. I'm doing this on my computer instead of, let's switch from live chat to, hey Lizzie, I have a new account. Can you make me the moderator? So my ad moderator, seeing this makes me have to look over my shoulder. The comments are not all coming and I can't see all of them. So then my all-time favorite, you're so skinny. I am. A lot of, oh my gosh. So this is a thing too. When people meet me, they have two reactions. One, I'm really tall. I'm way taller than they thought. I'm 5'8". Two, they say I'm really tiny. Like people don't realize how like tiny my body is and stuff. Cause I guess like when I'm filming, you don't like see all of, maybe right now you can because of this shirt. But yeah, people are always surprised how tall I am and then surprised how skinny I am, which I think is kind of funny. Hi, Lizzie. Can you make me a moderator, please? Yes, I'll make you a moderator as well. Add moderator. Hi, I just got here. Italy is here. I'm not that tall. I'm only 6 foot. For a guy, yeah, I guess that isn't that tall. Okay, so my all-time favorite fan encounter was meeting my best friend, Monica, It was when I was when I was a junior and she was a freshman. I was also like an orientation leader. By the way, guys, thumbs up the video, like the video. It helps out my channel. So I met Monica when she was a freshman and she was asking for directions and she like looks at me because I'm wearing like the orange new student orientation t-shirt. And she's like, can you help me? And then she's like, oh my gosh, you're Lizzie. And was like so excited. So anyways, we like ran into each other again. I think she was totally lost and like, wait, I ended up going back to her dorm with her and like meeting her mom and all of these things. But now we're literally best friends because of that fan encounter when her like first day at Pepperdine meeting me. And I ended up inviting her to like our philosophy club and like going to conferences with her. And yeah, I like travel to visit her like all the time now. So crazy fan encounter. And then my best friend Rose, who I'm going to be a bridesmaid in her wedding in a month, she also, it was like, knew me from my YouTube channel for several years before coming to the college. And then we finally met each other. And I actually had this experience with a lot of people from my college because so many people knew who I was coming in. So some of my best friends, I don't remember our first time meeting each other because I met so many different people and forget everyone. And so like with Rose, she has this vivid memory of the first time we met. And I don't even remember what happened, which is so sad. So, and then something else that happened is my freshman year roommates. So we actually got to pick roommates at my college. So they literally, are you Jewish? I'm Catholic. Still wonderful and going strong. Bridesmaids again. Yeah, because I was just a bridesmaid at another wedding. So these are my first 2 times being bridesmaids. So it's really exciting. So, what was I saying? So with are talking about Monica, I was talking about my other friend. Oh, so with my freshman dorm as well, all of my roommates like stalked my channel and watched my channel. And my roommate ended up, like she decided whether or not she wanted to be my roommate based upon watching my videos. So people came into college knowing all these things about who I was. I think that catch you later, stay vibrant, bye. I think that too, why would anyone think you're Jewish? You of all people. I don't know, I don't look Jewish. I don't know, maybe because I'm religious. Also, guys, isn't this the cutest thing ever? It's a coffee mug, but I put water in it, so. I get married on a beach in Hawaii. The thing though is that or Bora Bora, I want to go on my honeymoon to Bora Bora. Unfortunately, my boyfriend hates beaches, but I really want to go to Bora Bora so badly. I think I'm just going to go with one of my best friends who also loves the beach, but love your videos. Thank you. It's pink. Interesting. What is pink? Oh, the beach in Bora Bora? She's converting to Judaism. Can we not create fake news for people? People are going to get genuinely confused now. So a scary story. This was in 2017. I was living at home in Florida a year after I graduated college. So I was there for a year. And then I came back to California to see some of my best friends graduate college who were the year below me. So I was staying at one of my friend's apartments and she was gone for the weekend. And I was doing a YouTube video on INTJs, which is a Myers-Briggs personality thing. And this guy comments on the video and he said something like, would you ever meet an INTJ or something? And it was like kind of flirtatious. And I was single at the time and I was just kind of bored because I was staying in my friend's apartment alone and like I didn't have another event to go to until the next day. So I met up with this stranger from my YouTube comments, which I didn't think was weird because I literally meet subscribers sometimes. Like I'll get recognized in person. I'll be like praying at church. Like that's an annoying fan experience. After Mass, when I'm like trying to pray after Mass and people are like, oh my gosh, hi Lizzie, like give me a second to finish praying. But yeah, so this guy, I met up with him and immediately upon seeing him, I noticed he's really, really weird. Like he smells bad. His hair is like really, really long and kind of like matted, like he hadn't like brushed his hair or taken a shower in a long time. he was just a really like big build as well. So I was kind of physically scared. And he tried to pay for me and I tried to like get out of it because I don't like when you're with a guy friend and they try to pay and have like this power move over you and make it flirtatious. So I like tried to pay and he like wouldn't let me pay. And then we had like the weirdest conversation. I can't even remember like everything that happened, but he kept wanting to talk like more and more and more and more. And then afterwards he invited me to like do something else with him. And I was like, absolutely not. After this, like, I just wanted the dinner to end, you know? And so I think we were at a Veggie Grill actually in Pasadena. If you guys ever go to the Veggie Grill in Pasadena, that was the state of this situation. So are you practiced in Spanish? Un poco, but like un poco. So no muy bueno. I'm doing Duolingo though for Spanish. I need to. Greetings from Texas, Lizzie. I feel so weird when I get hit on by someone who isn't my crush. I want to go to Veggie Grill, never been. Really? Oh my gosh. I used to Postmates that all the time and then I realized I was spending way too much money on Postmates. So, and the Veggie Grill is like so close to where I live, so I'm so lazy to not just like walk like 20 minutes to go get the food. But Lizzie, what do you know about Indonesia? Oh, one of the other girls who's in the wedding I'm going to in December is from Indonesia. So quite a bit from us talking and stuff. Lizzie, have you gotten your P.O. box yet? No. How did you escape the creepy situation? So where I parked my car, not my car, I was borrowing my friend's car. So he was like going this way and then I was going like up another way and I went up like an opposite stair and then like ran around because I didn't want him to know where I was going. And I was so scared. I was like running to my car once I got to the parking garage because I just felt like very uncomfortable with the situation. So what I learned from that, obviously I met in a public location, which is fine, but I would not, I don't know, because it's like you go on Tinder dates and stuff with people, and I have done that in a public place, like at night. But I recommend doing a lunch date instead of a dinner date because when it's nighttime and it's dark outside after you meet up, it's just like kind of sketchy. Like some of the things I've done, especially, I want to get married so bad. This sounds like a horror movie. I have an Indonesian angel to hang from the ceiling and protect the house. I think the only way to meet you would be to live in California or USA, but I don't, and that makes me sad. No, I've come to different countries before though, so if I get like invited to a speaking event, then I'll come to your country. But Lizzie, would you like to go to Indonesia? I probably will at some point, just because one of my best friends lives in Singapore, and so when he gets married in a couple years, we're all going to do a giant Asia trip, so we might go there. So we'll see. Okay, another thing. So this guy who was like my longtime crush in high school, we were like playing each other like on and off. And it's kind of like he was like with all these girls and kind of unattainable. But then I like was kind of like, he tried to kiss me once and I like pushed him away and I was like not into it. So we were kind of like on and off, but I made this like relationship poem about my crushes from like one summer. Like, I don't know how I had like multiple crushes in like a couple months of a summer, but I made like a relationship poem and I posted it on my other channel. And this was at a point where most people in my high school like vaguely knew about my channel, but I didn't think that they actually watched a lot of the content. So he was like grilling me one day. Like I was like sitting on a desk and he was like coming towards me and he was like had his arms on my shoulder and he was like, Liz, like, am I one of the guys in the poem? Which guy am I in the poem? And it actually wasn't even about him at all. So it was like people creeping on my videos. And I think like that's one of the weirdest things when I become friends with people from my YouTube, because people know so many things about me. And this is why like with Trevor, I had him swear he would never watch my YouTube videos like 2 years before we started dating. Just because I was like, if we ever have a romantic thing ever happen between us, don't watch my YouTube channel. So he stuck to that. So it's been good. You should make a book for relationship advice. OMG, Lizzie, that's so creepy. At this point, I would rather meet you than Kristen Stewart. Now you are number one. Oh, you like Kristen Stewart so much? I want to especially visit South Korea. I have been to South Korea in their airport, and I was like, it was my first time traveling international. I was 18, so it was actually like my first year, like ever traveling alone and flying on planes and stuff. And I like started sobbing because for some reason I couldn't find the English part of the Korean airport. So like everything was in Korean when I got off my flight. And I like, there were no white people there at all. So I was so scared and I almost missed my connection. And I don't know why I couldn't find, maybe I should have just started talking in English, but I was just so young and so new to flying. So I just remember like sobbing in the Korean airport because I was going to Thailand and I was there for the layover. And I was traveling alone because I was doing a missions trip, but I was going to be there longer than everyone else. So I had to go there alone. And it was just a very jarring experience. And I think from then on, it has really scared me in travel situations. Like I travel all the time, so I'm not like scared of traveling or whatever. But I have this like innate neediness where I always feel like I'm gonna get lost and need people's help. So constantly in travel situations, I don't trust myself and I'm always like asking other people every step of the way, like, do you know where this is? Do you know where this is? Like I don't know. Because of that experience, it scarred me. And now on airports, I'm like, I don't want to be near you. Lizzie, what do you think of wearing ostensibly visual Christian paraphernalia like crosses and stuff? So I have a Mary necklace, and you guys have seen it. I wear it in a lot of videos. I actually have 3 different necklaces that I switch between. So I have this diamond stud one, and I actually wish this stud was like higher up, but whatever. So I have this diamond stud necklace. I have a gold necklace that's like a rectangle that says one blood for racial love between different races. And then it goes like that. And then I have my Mary necklace, and then I have a choker. So I like switch between these 4 necklaces like for the past like 2 years. I've been wearing the same necklaces over and over and over again. And I wear my Mary one in public. I also have like a big crucifix necklace. And I do not wear that unless I'm going to a Catholic event or if I'm filming a video. I especially would never wear this stuff around my family, especially my parents. Like if I came home for Christmas and I had like a Mary necklace, like no, that would create so much tension. So I wouldn't do that. But when I'm in public, I've gotten a lot more brave over the past few months to where I'll wear stuff like that in public. But it's hilarious because I'm doing some campus ministry stuff with a few colleges, and I'll like lead Bible studies and prayer groups and stuff. And there's this one girl who's part of the group, and every single time I see her, she is wearing like a giant Mary necklace, and not like the Mary necklace I have, but it's like that big. Like it's 4 times bigger than my Mary necklace. So it's like a Mary miraculous medal. I don't know if it's an actual miraculous medal, but it looks like one. And then also a cross necklace. So she wears a crucifix and a giant Mary necklace at the same time every day. And she goes to a very non-religious school. So I think it's so epic that she's brave and she owns her faith and she wants to show it off to everyone and is so proud to be Catholic. So I really respect when people can be like that. But I know like I would not be that brave, especially in non-Catholic environments. Definitely not. But like I said, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with Lizard Gang. What was your first video that helped you gain so many followers? So I made a video called 13 Signs a Girl Likes You. And obviously I was 15 at the time. A lot of my followers were like in middle school when you're going through the relationship phase, when you're first meeting someone. And so I just made this video of basically like body language. So, and I'd never been in like an actual relationship at this point, but I was giving so much relationship advice, and it's kind of ironic, but a lot of people will say like priests should be married so they can give good marriage advice, but it's totally not true because I had never been in a relationship and was giving all this relationship advice and like helping so many people. And even today I give so much marriage advice for like people who are bipolar and like dating or married to someone who's bipolar. Like I give so much marriage advice and it helps them. And so you don't have to be in a relationship to be able to give relationship advice because there's very inherent objective things that make a good relationship. Does that make sense? So yeah, so I did 13 Signs a Girl Likes You, and then I did 13 Signs a Guy Likes You, which I think is at 5 million views at this point. And yeah, so when I was in high school, these videos, so I have a whole series, 13 Signs a Girl Likes You, and it's really basic stuff like making eye contact, like messing with her hair, laughing at your jokes, like really basic things, and just 13 of them. And for some reason, these blew up because everyone wanted to know if their crush was attracted to them or not. And I have a whole series. So I have 13 signs a girl likes you, 13 signs a guy likes you, 13 signs a shy girl likes you, 13 signs a shy guy likes you, 13 signs an introvert likes you, 13 signs a girl doesn't like you, and 13 signs a guy doesn't like you. And these videos have millions of views. So for the first part of my channel, even today, like, I can see how much money I'm getting from each video, and every month one of those videos is like my primary income to this day. These videos I made back when I was in high school. So what is the best way to ask a guy to hang out? I just would make it really casual and group situations, because in that sense, they don't think it's romantic in any way. And I think if you really like someone, you shouldn't be like so intense and make it seem like you're into them right away. I don't know. A lot of people on YouTube, like Emily Wilson and Jackie Angel, are really into intentional dating, and I'm not. And I don't understand if it's like because I'm a bit younger than them, or if I'm wrong, or if they're wrong, or if Christian marriage culture at my college kind of scarred me. But my experience is that guys at my college, like so many of my friends experienced this, were like, well, we get married like really early on in a relationship. And so people say you should date to marry, but you shouldn't be thinking about that early on. Does that make sense? And so even when you're asking someone to hang out, you can be it in a friendly way and you can like them, but you don't need to be like, let's go on a date. I am attracted to you. Like, you don't know if you're into them as much as you know. You don't know if they're into you. You're just getting to know each other as friends, and so it's fine. And so try to ask them into a group situation or something totally normal that doesn't even seem romantic. So that's my thing. Just go gradually. Don't try to like define everything right away. I don't think that's important. And just don't share too much emotionally so that you don't get hurt by them. Oh, this is so interesting. Fatima says, at my church, we wear a scarf, but on the neck, and it means the presence of God in our lives in a youth group. That's really cool. Because I'm making my videos on wearing veils during Mass, so all of this is relevant. Lizzie, I'm a huge fan of animals, especially cats. What's your opinion about the specific Catholic liturgies for the blessings of animals, such as the Feast of St. Francis? I honestly don't know about it. I just know that at my parish, we have every year a Blessing Animals Day, and everyone brings their pets to church. Lizzie, oh my gosh, this is the Church Pop article. Did you actually bring your cell phone to the confessional booth to confession? What's your side of the story? I saw this at the Church Pop website. So I always write my sins down on my phone in the notes section of my phone. And then after I get out of confession, it's really, really cathartic because I delete the note on my phone. So it's like, I had these sins and I'm deleting them because it's over and it's done. So I always do that. But this one Sunday, it was like, so I went to my first confession in 2018, and then I didn't go to confession for a few months. So it was like my first time going to confession, and I had done a few things, like I'd been really mean to my boyfriend. I'd hurt him. I felt horrible. I had missed Mass, and there was like a couple other things, like I hadn't been praying enough. And so I felt like I was in a bad place spiritually. So I was going to confession for the second time in my life, and the priest started talking, and he was saying so many great things. And so I'm already on the notes section of my phone. So I start typing out what he's saying. And for some reason, this confessional, it has a screen, but it's kind of a sheer screen. Like, it's not sheer to where you could see someone's face, but I don't know, you could see through it, which seems weird because it was not face to face. It was in a confessional booth. So yeah. So he's like, will you get off your phone? Like, really serious. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm taking notes on what you're saying. And he's like, oh, that's okay. So he was totally fine that I was doing that. But what Civarelli songs do you like? Do you have a veil? Not yet. Oh my gosh, yeah, send me a picture on Instagram with a scarf. It's so interesting. But I mean, I decided the next time I go to Latin mass, I'm gonna veil, but I'm just gonna bring a scarf and put it over my head. I'm not gonna buy like a veil, you know what I mean? Because like the whole point is like covering your head. It doesn't need to be like a specific color or a specific like, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. No texting during confession. Thanks for sharing your side of the story. What Cimarelli songs do you like? I felt so awkward taking notes during mass on my phone because I'm worried people think I'm just on my phone. Okay, yeah. Never take notes on your phone during mass. Ever. Just bring a notebook. I would never do that. I've done that at Protestant church where I've been taking notes on my phone because it's Protestant church. But at mass, I would never, ever, ever do that. And it's weird. I just feel like I feel more relaxed at Protestant church because it kind of feels like you're just like sitting on a couch listening to a talk and singing. It just feels like you're just like chilling at home. And mass, it feels like I'm with my family because I feel like everyone there is my family, but it's more severe and serious and ceremonial and important, and you can't just chill. Like you have to participate in the entire thing. It's a really intense like praying and confession and all these emotions you're going through. So yeah, I don't text at mass, but I go to Latin mass but don't veil. Yeah, I'd say half-half with people who veil. Do you practice Latin? I've been doing on Duolingo, yeah. Lizzie, did you listen to the song I told you last time? No, I forgot. What are your thoughts on the snow? It doesn't snow in LA. So, unfortunately. But in January, I was visiting one of my friends on the Northeast, and it was snowing from her window, and I was like, I turned on the Frozen soundtrack, like the songs on the Frozen soundtrack, and I was so happy. So I'm going to my first Latin mass tomorrow night. I'm hyped. Google account? You don't go to Latin mass regularly? I would expect that from you. But that's really exciting. It's awful how people make a big deal out of everything. Okay, yeah, I've done it because sometimes the homily is really good and I want to remember it. I don't mean to seem offensive. If you're in the back row, I think that'd be okay, but I would definitely think someone was texting. Guys, thumbs up the video, like the video. It helps my channel. You'll love it. I consider you as a sister in Christ, Lizzie. I consider all of you who have been baptized as sisters and brothers in Christ for sure. Why are there so many homeless people in Los Angeles? So, number one, the weather. Number two, it's an extremely religious area. And so there's so many Christians and Jews, Muslims, like every religion who are helping out. There's so many homeless shelters and homeless like soup kitchens and like homes you can live in and legal help, like places you can get your hair done and nails for free, like literally everything. There's like a city of help for these people. And so because of that, because there's so many like religious people in the area who are helping out, and it's similar in Seattle where they have so many resources for homeless people that it's kind of attracted people from all over the country. And so LA is similar for sure. Mimi, what are your favorite Cimarelli songs or songs that they cover? So they did a Taylor Swift medley, which I really, really liked. And they have a song, It's True, da-da-na-na, it's all that I am, da-da-da, don't turn your back for me. Do you guys know what song I'm singing? Da, 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 da. Tell me that it's all okay. I've been waiting on it all. That song. They covered that song, and I really, really like it. And I'm here, but don't count on me to stay. Is that the song? Do you guys know? There's like a delay in streaming and talking, so we had this guy at mass once with a giant iPad Pro with the Missile app on it. Well, if the iPad is like this big, everyone behind could like see what he has on. So that's pretty funny. I would rather have an iPad than a phone for sure. Because it doesn't have, like, you're not texting on the iPad. I think that's the significant difference. Lizzie, if you could start your own TV show, what would it be about? Oh my gosh. Okay, I have ideas. So I would follow. So I'm pro-life. Okay, I'm Catholic. This is nothing about political views. This is about the entertainment of the election, okay? If you've been watching the Democrat debates, Marianne Williamson, amazing. The Yang Gang from Andrew Yang, so entertaining. Bernie Sanders going off on things, it's funny. So the whole entertainment aspect of the debate, like I said, I'm pro-life. I don't want a candidate to win who's not pro-life, obviously. But I think it'd be so cool to follow all of these politicians and their campaigns, because obviously a lot of them are like gonna drop out and have zero chance of winning. But I think it'd be so interesting to follow around their lives, or to follow around like senators in their daily life and see, like, do office tours and like going to the gym and seeing the Democrats and Republicans interacting with each other. Are they actually friends? Like doing the reality show of everyone who's running for president and of senators and Congress people. Because, okay, I know I don't want you guys to like take political connotations out of this, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on her Instagram, she does live streams from within Congress and shows behind the scenes of orientation and her office and all of these things that I didn't even know existed. Like, she's showing behind the scenes into our government, and it's so cool. So I wish there was more behind the scenes into the government. So did I do that okay to where... What Sommerelli songs do you like? Are they cover or original songs? Oh, I really like the covers, but I was listening to the original song today from their wedding album, Stay Together, I was listening to. It came on my repeat, and it's really, really good. I'm like, yeah, if we were at mass, I would be concerned about reverence, but you guys have a coffee bar at the back of the room and cover up the cross with a projector for worship singing. Okay, how do you guys feel about there being projectors at mass? Because in Florida, multiple churches I've been to in Florida, they have like projector screens, but obviously not covering up the crucifix, like on the side, not covering up any church art. So I personally found that cool to be able to see the lyrics of the songs. But some people are really against the projectors. So what are your guys' thoughts on projectors in Catholicism? I'm curious. Lizzie, are you conservative or liberal? This is a fantastic question. For every Catholic, we will all answer it the same way. I'm Catholic. Are you Democrat or Republican? I'm Catholic. Are you liberal or conservative? I'm Catholic. How do you feel on every issue? I'm Catholic. We have consistent Catholic pro-life ethics, being against abortion, being against the death penalty, being against capital punishment is the death penalty, being pro-environment, being pro-healthcare, being against inhumane treatment in the criminal justice system, being pro-immigration, being against physician-assisted suicide. We have all of these issues, and both parties are doing evil things. Both parties are also supporting Catholic principles. But that's what I love so much about Catholicism. It's like really calmed me down with the country, because I used to be very like against Trump and the Republican Party, and now I've been able to see that there's actually a lot of like people living out their faith who voted for Trump who are just pro-life. They're really against abortion and against physician-assisted suicide, and so that's like their main voting issue. And so I also know a lot of Catholics who are liberal, and they see it as protecting the environment and having a really good healthcare system, providing for the poor is really, really important and really in line with Catholic principles. So I definitely see that there's people on both sides, and it's a really difficult discernment process when thinking about who to vote for when both sides have pro-death policies, literally, like both sides. So, and then in general, well, I'm upset with everyone. I'm upset with bipartisan issues in the country too. Like, the U.S. goes to war so much, and Bishop Barron was being interviewed once, and he said that there have only been 2 just wars. No, one. The only just war we've ever had was World War II, and it wasn't just because the way we fought the war wasn't just, the cause was just. And so pretty much think of all the military activity, coups in Latin America we've intervened in, Middle East, everything we've ever done militarily hasn't even been just. And Obama, I voted for Obama and even campaigned for him, but his military policy was disastrous. All the targeted killings, even a lot of the stuff he did at the border, I didn't agree with. So he was just extreme military policy, and he was so conservative in his military policy. Even though he was a Democrat, he was pretty conservative. And so I'm very dissatisfied with certain core parts of American policy that are not Catholic. So I disagree and agree and love and hate both parties, and I think all Catholics should as well. So we shouldn't align ourselves with a political party, but obviously with the church. The earth is so flat. Oh my gosh, guys. So recently I had to block on Twitter Flat Earth Trads. I'm not kidding. This account is like at Flat Earth Trads because they started bullying me about something, and I was like, I couldn't take it because there were like so many tweets, and I was like, you've been a really good fan for me. Like, one of my friends follows you just for kicks. So it was a sad moment having to make that call. I do block people because I'm actually really good friend, not like good friends, but I've kind of made up with the No Pants girl on Twitter. And she was kind of going after me, and maybe rightfully so, because I was going after her. But because of that, she was like retweeting and commenting, and she was sending so many people over to my channel who were being so negative. So I had to block a lot of people just to get them out of my feed. So I'm not afraid to block people on social media, because on YouTube as well, like YouTube and my Facebook page, I can delete comments anytime I need to if someone's being negative or it's getting too much. But on Twitter, I cannot delete replies to me, which is infuriating. So it's good that we have the ability to block people on there, and it sucks because I don't want to be censoring people. Whoa! I do want to be censoring people, but it's very rare for me to delete comments. It has to be explicit or bullying, but yeah, so for my sanity, I had to block people. So it was sad when I had to block that person. So how do you feel about Joe Biden being denied communion? I think that was a positive thing. Even though I'm a registered Democrat, I personally think. And he actually has like the most conservative view on abortion. So I honestly think like that probably made him question his view even more. And maybe he'll actually, like, if he wins, which I think Elizabeth Warren is going to win, but if he ended up winning, he could. I personally think Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders obviously are going to win. I would prefer Elizabeth Warren, but maybe I'm biased because she's female. Maybe I have this like subliminal thing, but also Bernie Sanders is so radical. I don't want to deal with that either. So I just want someone who's like centrist and chill and doesn't want to destroy the country. Lizzie deletes comments. Yeah. Like, it's very cathartic if someone says, you should die, you're SL asterisk, stuff like that. It just feels cathartic when someone's personally attacking you to be able to delete it immediately. And then if someone's being racist or attacking one of my subscribers, obviously they're going to be deleted as well. And then I block people from my channel who are being suggestive with talking about my appearance a lot. So yeah, it's cathartic to block people. I think most YouTubers, you feel empowered if someone is being really hateful. It's empowering that you can just get them out of your feed forever. So yeah, that I think is the hard thing of being a social media influencer. I'm super sensitive, so I don't know if I could handle so many hate comments. You know who else deletes comments? Moderators. See, live streams are a great example of my daily life. So there's so many random comments, and there's so many things you have to seed through and delete. So I'm sure that like big YouTube channels, their social media team probably goes through their comments for them and goes around and deletes things. Is missing mass for holiday a sin? Yeah, you should probably go to confession. I mean, it's like on a spectrum. My priest described it like, why is this here? This is like a computer screen. My priest described it as a spectrum, and to be a mortal sin, it has to be like you were capable of going to mass and it was so easy for you to go, but you were like, F the church, I hate mass, I don't want to go to mass, I hate holy day of obligations, I hate that we have to do mass every Sunday, this is stupid, I don't want to follow the rules. Like, that's a mortal sin. You're in a horrible place with God. So, how old are you? 25. Have you ever been to Disneyland? 3 times, and I think 3 or 4 times at Disney World. And well, that's because I live near Orlando in Florida. But I went to college in Malibu, so we were near Anaheim for sure. So I got tired of Disney after like my sophomore year. I was like over it. What do you think of the trad movement on social media like Taylor Marshall? So I've been on the Taylor Marshall show and I watch him and Tim Gordon and I follow the wife on social media, so I'm friendly. I consider myself friendly with them, if that makes sense. These live streams make my life better. Thank you, Lizzie. I can't vote for pro-choice. Do you think trans women should compete in men's sports? If they went through hormone replacement therapy after they went through puberty, they already gained the strength of that gender, so it seems objectively unfair. But if they went through hormone replacement therapy as a teenager and never developed that anatomy, I think that's a different question to look into. But if you've transitioned after 18, it seems like, I mean, pretty inherent that you have a huge advantage. So I think it'd be disappointing if that ruined the Olympics and other sports and stuff. So Blair White, though, one of my favorite YouTubers, is against that. So there are loads of trans people who are against that and are rational and are conservative. So what's the deal with people's name in blue with wrenches? They're moderators. So I have a lot of moderators who come at different times during my live streams. Yes, I made it. I just finished Disney Phantom. Do you think that transition is going against God's creation? Yes. I have to believe that to be Catholic. I hate that I have to believe that because it's really hard to say in this world, especially to people who are suffering with gender dysphoria. So there are not a lot of big church documents on it. I think there are, like, Amoris something that I quoted in the video. I made a video, Wives Submit to Your Husbands, and I read in the video some like gender theory from Pope Francis, and he was talking about how there are differences in kind of talking about how there are like female and masculine traits in both genders, and it's not healthy for children if you're like rigid categories. But at the same time, we do have to affirm masculine and femininity as being complementary and a positive thing. So just curious things. Yeah, I hope that answered it with enough caveats. Team moderators unite. You didn't answer the question. Sure, you're friends with Marshall, but what do you think about him? I learned a lot from his videos. I don't know him. I know his content. Who is your favorite Catholic philosopher and why? Peter Van Wagen. I just read him a lot in college, and I think the main reason I really like him is because he explained the miracles and how every single moment God, and this is just like classical Catholic theology, but when I was reading this in college, I didn't know, and I always had intuitions about how the soul worked, and he explained how the soul worked. So every single moment, God is infusing power into our souls, otherwise we wouldn't be able to exist. So it's not just like clockmaker, God created the world, and then like peace out, evolution did all the work, God occasionally does miracles, but no, like every single moment right now, each of you are breathing and existing. Your body is supporting itself, but your soul, which is objectively intertwined with your body cannot exist without the soul. God is constantly fueling it with power. So a miracle is just fueling it with more power. So that concept really like cemented my love for Peter Van Wagen, and I read his essays sometimes if I'm bored and need to be intellectually fueled. So yeah, I really like him. He writes about metaphysics and philosophy of religion, and he talks about dualism. So yeah. Amoris Letitia. Thank you guys. See, this is the thing. If I ever mess up, you guys always know you have my back. Lizzie, if I had a book about my life, would you read it? Of course. Lizzie, is it a sin if I get a cross Tattoo? No. Tattoos are totally fine. Lizzie, don't eat the Impossible Whopper Burger King. They grill the meat with other non-vegan meat. Okay, so I personally don't have a problem with that. So there are companies who make vegan and non-vegan options as part of the company. So if there's a meat company that also makes veggie burgers, I will buy their veggie burgers. If there's an ice cream company that also makes dairy ice cream, I will eat the vegan ice cream. Another example, so my perfume I wear in China, they force you to do animal testing. So a lot of companies who sell to people in China, they just suck it up and they do the animal testing, and it's really sad, but they do. So like my perfume I wear, the same company, Victoria's Secret, do the animal testing for China, but not for the American market. So the company is participating in this horrific animal testing, but not for my product. So it's the same thing where if I go to a restaurant and they also serve meat, but they also have a vegan option, I'm gonna eat the vegan option. I'm not at a point where I only buy products from brands that never, ever, ever sell meat or never, ever, ever animal test. If it's not tested on my specific item, obviously we should be more supporting brands that are totally vegan or totally not on animal testing. But when it comes to like distinctions like that, does that make sense? Like, yeah, I mean, it'd be weird to only buy products from vegan companies, to only go to vegan restaurants. I think that's extremely privileged if you're able to do that. Like, okay, something I was thinking too, at Trader Joe's, they sell so much meat, but they also sell so many vegan products, and that's primarily where I go grocery shopping, so. What's your favorite fiction book and why? A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. It's about, it's a love story. It's like a tragic love story, and it takes place in Afghanistan. And I want to give away the whole story because it's really beautiful. You should read it though. It's called A Thousand Splendid Suns. It's just, it starts off with, so it talks about like child brides is one of the characters, and then two of the other characters, it's literally like Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me, like Spider-Man, where they're living next to each other, like the guy, the boy and the girl, and they were like neighbors their whole lives and like childhood friends, and then they fell in love. But then the attacks start happening and everyone almost dies, and the love between the one woman who is the child bride, who kind of becomes like a mentor figure to the other girl, and they kind of like survive in this crazy situation together. It's just the most like tragic, beautiful, sorrowful, terrifying, but it's real life. It's what actually happens there. And I think it also made me fall in love with Islam because it's so easy to be like Islamophobic and negative about Islam. I mean, in Christianity, even not in Catholicism, like Catholics can be, but not Catholicism. We're really positive towards them. Like they're our brothers and sisters. We worship the same God and everything. But it made me not hate Islam, which sucks that I have to say that, but because of growing up in America and in like a Christian environment, yeah, people are so negative. So it made me like they talked about like prayer and their relationships with God in it, and I just thought that was really beautiful. So it like permanently made me positive about Islam. So that is why too. Why do you think secular education is so anti-Catholic when teaching history? Because WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, which I used to be and now I'm not, but WASPs run the country, create the curriculum, and yeah, whoever's in power tells the history. I'm also a Catholic YouTuber. Would love if you checked my channel out. Can you just DM me on Twitter? Because I can't right now during the live stream. And give me your feedback. Is St. Francis your favorite saint? No! St. Irenaeus and St. Augustine are my favorite saints. And Archbishop Fulton Sheen. Oh my gosh, guys. I read something on Twitter today that St. Irenaeus could be named a doctor of the church. Is that true or is that fake news? Because someone like that from my college who's becoming Catholic, and it was on my feed. And I was like, is this real? Is this happening? Like, why would it happen now after like 2,000 years? Like, that's weird, right? So, Lizzie, what denomination were you before you were Catholic? I was Church of Christ. Saint Francis is my confirmation saint. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything negative towards him. I just personally have not read any of his writings, so I don't really know anything about him. I mean, I learned about him in school and stuff, and a little bit in college, but barely. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to go off of. Just finished Confessions by St. Augustine. Very profound. Aw. My boyfriend will be proud. I don't know if that's the reason. She used to be Church of Christ. OMG, I had honey the other day. Do you eat honey? Yes. Because they say vegans don't eat honey because it's the bees make the honey, but that shouldn't matter because the honey didn't kill the bees. Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. But that'd be like saying that you can eat eggs because they didn't kill the chickens, but they do end up killing the chickens. But I've done a lot of research into honey, and it seems like the majority of the companies are not harming bees. So anyways, I eat honey. I'm sure a lot of vegans would disagree with my philosophy on veganism because, like, I personally don't have a problem with historically humans killing animals. Like, we've had to kill animals to survive. We're at a point in our culture where we have access to so many different foods that we don't need to eat meat, and I think that's beautiful and that's amazing. And because we're at a point in our culture and our history and globalism that we're able to do that, that's amazing. Let's all be vegan. But for most of world history, that was literally impossible. They didn't have access to so many different types of foods. So I don't think it's immoral to eat meat. It's not. Animals were given on this earth for us to use, and that doesn't mean we should abuse them, kill them, murder them, torture them. Absolutely not. But I do not believe that humans and non-human animals are on the same playing field. I believe that humans were made in God's image and we're a step up. And so because of that, it is moral for us to eat animals and kill animals and to use animals. And like I said, caveats. We shouldn't abuse them. We should have sustainability. Now we don't even have to kill them to eat. That's amazing. They can just like live amazing lives and like be themselves. That's so beautiful. So milk doesn't kill cows, but the dairy industry does. So the dairy industry horrifically kills those cows after, like, for 3 years they'll be giving milk. They tear the baby calves away, and the dairy industry takes those baby calves from inseminating the cow, and those become so sad. They take the calves, like they tear the calf away from their mother the moment it's born, and it's like sobbing and crying like the cow version, and then they put it in like a tiny cage so it can't grow, and they make it into like venison, whatever it's called when you're eating like a baby cow, like. So, and the egg industry grinds male chicks alive. So both of those, like, they don't directly kill the animal when you're getting your products, but they end up killing lots of animals. So it's pretty evil what's happening. So anyways, so a lot of vegans would say I'm not vegan because I disagree with their vegan philosophy, but I would say let's try not to harm animals. But I don't think that, yeah. So, but also it's a health thing too, where we shouldn't be eating animals because it's better for human health and stuff. So, does that make sense? Like, I don't think it's wrong to kill animals. I don't think it's wrong to eat animals. I just think that if you want to have like the moral exemplar in the situation, it's great that we don't have to. It's good for our health. We don't torture animals, but I think the majority of you, if you had the option of getting rid of the factory farm system, or even if you saw it, you wouldn't be comfortable eating the meat because of what's going on. So that's like my primary problem, like the current factory farm system. It's not at all about, I mean, it is, but it's not completely about killing the animals. Does that make sense? I feel like, yeah, I was literally watching a vegan video today from Vegan Gains, and he was talking about, I was like rewatching a video because he really motivates me to like be passionate about being vegan. And he was reacting to a Blair White video of why she stopped being vegan. And he was saying that starting off, she didn't have like the moral imperative that non-human animals and that human animals and non-human animals are on the same playing field. And I was thinking, like, I don't either. I can't as a Christian. So that I disagree with like the main like vegan philosophy that it started with, but then I'm still live by the principles. So I don't know. We have different underlying philosophy, but we can't come to the same conclusion. Does that make sense? I get my eggs and mark locally, factory farm free. See, I don't have a problem with that either. If you literally live like one of my best friends, Kyle, he lives in this super small town in NorCal, and literally they see the chickens and they're just in someone's backyard. So would you eat shellfish since you can't see their feelings? Hey, it's Lizzie. I don't know how I feel about shellfish. I just don't eat it. Veal, yes. Lizzie, would you like to visit my homeland, Croatia, one day? Yes, I'm honestly down to visit anywhere except for North Korea and the part of China that's near North Korea. And honestly, South Korea kind of freaks me out. I'm terrified of North Korea and their slave camps and concentration camps they have going on. I just like cry so much and I've thought so much about that issue that I just would never, ever, ever want to be near that. I don't know how people in Korea deal with the fact that they have this like totalitarian monster living within miles of their city. I don't understand. What are your thoughts on free range organic meat? So they go to the same exact slaughterhouses as any other animal. So it may be having a good life before that, but the slaughtering process, they're often like burned or boiled alive. It's really, really bad. Do you believe in Marian operations? I believe in Guadalupe. I haven't researched into any of the other ones. Lizzie, I wish the government would ban meat eating. Well, what I think is they should stop subsidizing meat and dairy. And if they start subsidizing like lentils and beans and kale, then people would economically be able to make that decision so much easier. Lizzie, someone told me they feel bad for me for having bipolar, and it bothered me for at least 30 minutes of my life. Then they told me to take care of myself. I think they were trying to have empathy and sympathy because, like, I'm at a point now where I like that I'm bipolar because it's affected my YouTube channel so much. It's changed my view on God and understanding so many aspects of Christianity. So many of my relationships in my life have been affected by me being manic or depressed, like positively, like us getting closer because of people helping me through that struggle. So I wouldn't give it back because it's become so ingrained into me and it's formed so many experiences I've had and made me into who I am. But at a lot of points in my diagnosis, I wish I could take it away. And maybe now I still would think that. But if someone says that they feel bad, like you should feel bad. It's a chronic illness. Like I cried almost every day for the first year and a half of my diagnosis. So people should feel bad about it. But that doesn't mean that you should hate yourself or even want to take it away. In the US, do you have a procession? At Mexico, we do for Our Lady of Guadalupe in December. Yeah. I went to one. We had one in Orange County, which is like below LA. We did a thing where we literally like processed around the city and started at a church and then went to the ocean. And we had like a giant like Marian thing and we like prayed with each other when we were there. It was pretty epic. Good night. God bless you. I'll catch your next live feed. Respect your views very much. Do you play or have you played any sports? I did ballet starting from when I was 6, and then I did cross country and track starting from when I was 11. What do you think? Depression is really awful though. Yeah. I think most bipolar people would give up the depression, but I wouldn't give up the times when I was in depression. Like, obviously, it was hellish and it was brutal and terrifying thinking back, and like I cry even now if I force myself to think about what it was like. But those experiences changed me so much, and they're why I was able to make 100 videos helping people with it. So Would I go back and get rid of those experiences? No. Would I prevent myself from ever being in depression again? Yes, but maybe not, because the times I am in slight depression, it reminds me of how good I have it now with my medication regimen. So it's difficult taking negative experiences away because you wouldn't be you without those experiences. How often should we be praying as a Christian? So I think it says to pray without ceasing. So I think that means that I need to be better at this. But I think when you wake up, you should start praying before every meal, in every conversation. Like you should be trying to tangibly think about God all throughout the day. Someone says I draw better when I'm in depression. That's interesting. You know what I love? I'm not in the same place as Lizzie about dietary principles. At least for the cheese factory I go to, I'm comfortable with their treatment of animals. But as long as Lizzie isn't trying to bind other Catholics to teachings that the church doesn't, I can't say good for you. I love your expression of your faith. I can learn from that. Cool. Yeah, because it's obviously not like Christian doctrine because God gave us the animals to use and to eat and yeah, but we don't have to eat them because okay, before the fall in Genesis, they were vegans. So we should go back to that, back to paradise and all be vegan together. That's what I think. Have you seen Vatican Catholic Channel? No. Do you ever worry you'll become a Protestant again? So I'm really into like seeking truth and changing my beliefs to find what is true. So if it turns out that the Orthodox Church is right or like atheism is right, and I have really, really strong evidence for that, it won't be scary because it will be true and I want what is true. So I'm not really scared. And especially when it comes to God, like when I was becoming Catholic, I had God with me the entire time. I was not leaving God. I was leaving this one church, but I was staying with God. So it'd be scary for me thinking of becoming atheist, but thinking of becoming another type of Christian, it's not scary because I'm with God the whole time. But I've talked about how I'm more likely to find atheism to be true than Protestantism at this point. Our Lady of Guadalupe converted 9 million people in 10 years. Yeah. When I read a book about it, they said that's how you can tell when like miracles and apparitions are real and how they affect so many people. Guys, like and thumbs up the video. Let's get it to 50 likes. Lizzie, how long did you wait to tell your family about your conversion to Catholicism? I'm trying to decide for myself. So I would tell them sooner than later. I've talked about this before, but I think it was a huge mistake waiting to tell them. So I knew I would convert in the day before Easter. The night before Easter in 2017, I read John 6 and all the communion accounts, and I like sobbed and I was like, I believe in real presence. But then I didn't decide on the Catholic Church until a few months later. But anyways, in like March of 2017, I knew I believed in real presence. So then April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's so bad. It was 8 months until I told my family. I told my sister before my parents. And she didn't tell them for like 4 months. That was really nice. So, and it's created kind of like permanent problem, not permanent, but my dad literally blames Trevor for me converting into Catholicism because within those 8 months, like towards the end of those 8 months, we started dating towards like the last 2 of those 8 months. And so it looked like Trevor was part of that experience, which he was. Obviously, Trevor influenced me and empowered me immensely and is a huge reason why I found it to be true. But because I didn't tell them for those 8 months, they completely denied my intellectual experience, like completely slammed it down. So it was so bad. Oh my gosh, I've never felt so disrespected by anyone in my life because my dad respects me so much intellectually, but then it was like from an 100 to nothing. But your father is against it? Yeah, I was praying today. I was at a prayer meeting and we were asking Saint Joseph to intervene and I had him intervene for my dad. How are you able to keep it a secret for so long? Because I was living, I don't know, because I was going to Mass and Orthodox Divine Liturgy, and they're like, oh, like Lizzie is doing her thing, but then I moved from Florida back to California, and they didn't see what church I was going to. So I don't know why they were surprised. I guess my dad just never thought that it could be true. He thought I was just messing around. Oh my gosh, I had oat milk the other day and it was so good. I'm so happy. Oat milk is becoming such a trend in LA. I don't know if it is everywhere else, but every store I go to, there's oat milk and like oat milk lattes. Oh my gosh. I've been making my own oat milk lattes. They're so good. Have you seen The Passion of the Christ? No. I'm really, really, really like sensitive to violence. And so I would just like cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. And it would like permanently scar and torture me. And I wouldn't do that to myself. It's way better than almond milk. I wish Starbucks had it. Oh my gosh. I like getting the coconut milk at Starbucks. That's my favorite. I want to go soon, guys. Okay. I'm sorry. Because I only streamed for an hour, my last live stream. But I promise I'll come back again in Saturday. I'll stream on Saturday or Sunday, I promise, okay? How about I'll stream on Saturday in the middle of the day, okay, guys? I will stream on Saturday. So that's soon. Is Pikachu a Catholic? Would you ever convert to a pagan religion? If it's true, but it's not true, so no. I feel like I'm the only one who likes soy milk. Okay, here's the thing. So, soy milk was the first vegan milk. And so it was the only thing people could drink. But now there is almond, coconut, hemp, oat, etc. There's so many different options. So soy milk is not trendy anymore because it was the first. So that's why I think that people are like, I haven't had soy milk in so long. Because it's like I had my soy milk days, so I don't drink water. Is YouTube a good paying job? It goes up and down depending on the month. So that's why I have to do sponsorships and speaking things on the side and now this campus ministry thing. So it's like inconsistent paycheck, but some people are millionaires from YouTube if they have a lot of subscribers. Almond milk and coconut milk is all I've ever had. I mean, being that is okay, guys, I'm gonna go. Any last questions? I'm gonna go when it's been 1 minute and 1 hour and 9 minutes. Do you think that first communion is kind of like a bar mitzvah? I've never been to a bar mitzvah, so I don't know. Is your Patreon still active? Yes, you can become part of it. Lizzie, why do Catholics call it the Mass and Orthodox the Divine Liturgy? That's an interesting question. I know that en mass and massa in Latin, I'm horrible pronouncing things. It means to go forth, but it is the liturgy. So like in Catholicism, we say the liturgy of the word and the liturgy of the Eucharist. So they just say divine liturgy. Any Lizzie Answers merch? I've been wanting to make merch for so long and I'm so horrible at like visuals and graphics. So I need to get on it though. Do people rush you everywhere you go? Fans of Lizzie's Answers? It depends on where I am. If it's at a church place, then yes. Why are you cheating on us? Where are you going? I have to go edit my video on Veils, guys. I'm taking so much time. Like, spending an hour live streaming feels like so much time away from work, because this is work, obviously, but in my mind, work is editing videos. So 20 more seconds. Anything you guys want to say? Do people go, hey, you're Lizzie's Answers from YouTube? They say, hey, are you Lizzie? That's what they say. Are you Lizzie? The last time I was recognized, though, they didn't even say, hey, are you Lizzie? They knew that I was Lizzie. You should release a shirt called You Need to Calm Down. Oh, we love you, Lizzie. Why did Aquinas teach about against the Immaculate Conception? In the next 2 seconds of this live stream, I will explain an in-depth hypothesis and analysis. Thank you, Lizzie. It was great today, as always. If you guys join later on, you can start at the beginning of the video. Guys, let's get the likes up to 40 likes. 45 likes. Let's get it up to 45 likes, and then I will go. So until there's 45 likes, but then if you guys want me to stay, you're not going to like it. I really have to go, guys. So thumbs up this video. Let's get it up to 45. Thank you, Lizzie. Oh, I don't know what the super chat meant. What would it take to convince you of Hinduism's veracity? I don't know. Good night, Lizzie. Everyone have positive thoughts, like positive thoughts. Guys, thumbs up the video. We're at 40. I know that it's like back live, like when I say you guys are watching it always like a few seconds after, so it's hard to see live. I want a selfie with you if I meet you randomly. Yeah. Okay, guys, thumbs up the video. Let's get it to 45 thumbs up. I'm not going to leave until... When is the next stream? On Saturday? I'm going to stream on Saturday during the day. So make sure to follow my Twitter, and I'll tell you the exact time of that. Can you pray for me? Because I feel really sad a lot and kind of like I hate myself. Guys, thumbs up the video if you have not. Thumbs up the video. What did you think of the airport x-ray? Oh my gosh, I saw the airport x-ray. It was so cool. I need to download that and share it on my Twitter. I was so excited because I thought it was so awesome because the light was like scanning almost like a photocopier. It was like a photocopier type effect. So yeah, I was excited to see that. Make sure to pray today, you guys. Yeah, pray before you sleep or before you eat. Let's all pray for each other. 3 more people. Come on, guys. 3 more people to like the video. Can we pray right now in the stream? Yeah, we can pray in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, thank you so much that we've gotten to hang out with each other today and talk about veganism and Christianity and really hard issues in the church as well. Why don't we all say an Our Father together? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. And Saint Joseph, pray for us too. Did you end up buying a plushie fish? Oh, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Sorry, guys, I'm new. Guys, 2 more people like the video so I can go. Did you end up buying the plushie fish in the airport? No. You are so pretty. Thank you. Just prayed with you. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Thank you for praying, guys. Do you do the Miracle Morning? It's a book. Oh my gosh, guys, we're at 44 likes. Let's get to 1 more. I feel like I'm doing like a fundraiser where I'm trying to raise money for my channel. Why is it so hard to get likes? I don't know. I think that a lot of people when they watch live streams are like doing... Oh my gosh, someone just undid... Oh, we're at to 45 now. Someone undid their like. I was like, what? Yeah, we got to 45. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. I'll come back on Saturday during the day, so make sure to check on my Facebook page or my Twitter, and I will definitely make a post about the time for that. So I undid and redid. That's so funny. I met you in Nashville the day of my wedding. Oh my gosh, I remember you. That was a crazy fan encounter. Thank you so much for taking a photo with me. Can you send me the photo? That's so funny. That was so cool. So that was like right when I met my boyfriend's family for the first time. And his brothers were with us when that happened. And they were like kind of like, wow, like that's so cool. She gets recognized like that. So it was kind of like a flexing moment with my boyfriend's family. 46. Good night. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. I have the best fans ever, even though you're my family, not fans. Bye.